In the name of God. The past is gone, live in the present.
There was once a man who lived in a small house next to a pottery shop. He was afflicted with a strong addiction to wine. Drinking too much not only increased his expenses, but as a war survivor, he also suffered from serious mental breakdowns. To escape the vivid and painful memories of war, he drank more and more, until it became a habit he could not control. He often walked through the hospital aisle because one of his kidneys was failing. To retain his health, he needed constant medical treatment. The hospital atmosphere was heavy with pain, the cries of suffering patients and the sound of families weeping for their lost loved ones. These sounds reminded him of the countless deadly days he had spent on the battlefield. Many authors wrote books that glorified war, using misleading titles to praise sacrifice and death. However, these writers had never actually been on the front lines. The closest they had come to war was probably sitting in a movie theater, flipping popcorn into their mouths. Some might have even had distillation machines at home, turning raisins into sweet drinks. But they didn't know that if prepared the wrong way, such drinks could cause blindness, just as many soldiers lost their sight from shrapnel and injuries in battle. Perhaps this man had been influenced by such ideas and joined the war, only to be left with deep emotional scars. He knew his kidney might soon stop working, and losing it would make his unfortunate life as an alcoholic even shorter. If only he had never hidden inside the cargo of medical supplies and crossed the border with the help of a truck driver. If only he had never read the chapters of books that encouraged war and fighting for the goals of selfish leaders. If only he had stayed idle at home instead of going to war. If only he had never connected the wires of an explosive cargo to a remote control device. If only he hadn't made that mistake on that terrible day. There were thousands of wishes in his mind. Wishes to undo the past. But the past is gone, it cannot be changed. Lost in his thoughts, he lightly pressed a button to test it. But he had mistakenly connected the wire to the power source. In one moment, he realized the huge mistake he had made. In the military court, he admitted his terrible mistake, accepting that he had acted carelessly. Kneeling, he apologized to his fellow soldiers, many of whom had died or been left disabled because of him. "This was not bad luck," he said. "It was my own inexperience and recklessness." Suddenly, he opened his eyes and saw that he was in front of the cancer ward. The patients undergoing chemotherapy looked pale, and their faces showed deep sadness. On a tray near a nurse who was eating, there was some meat, a few peas, corn, and a small cup of yogurt. He had always wanted to stay hopeful, but now he realized that both the sick patients and he, with his weak kidney, were heading toward the same fate and early death filled with sorrow. He wanted to change his life, but suddenly, he saw blood on a patient's hand, which made him feel sick, and he vomited. He heard the voice of a guard as they placed him on a hospital bed. Looking at himself, he saw that he was lying down, staring at the ceiling. Pale, afraid, and disconnected from life, he felt as if he were drowning in a sea of regret.
Like and subscribe if you would like.